Imagine a world where the Earth itself is a shifting, featureless canvas, where landmarks vanish overnight and the very ground beneath your feet can betray you. This is the desert, a realm of breathtaking beauty and brutal unforgiveness. For millennia, humanity has dared to cross its boundless expanse, a feat often attributed to celestial navigation or an uncanny sense of direction. But what if there was another way? A profound, almost mystical ability to read the desert's most ephemeral whispers, the intricate patterns etched into the sand by the wind. Tonight, we journey into the heart of this ancient secret, discovering the desert people who navigated not by stars, but by the very breath of the dunes. The desert appears an empty, unchanging expanse, yet it is anything but. Its vastness and the ceaseless movement of sand pose an unparalleled navigational challenge. Traditional landmarks vanish, and distant horizons blur into mirages. While the sun and stars offer some guidance, they are often obscured by dust storms or simply insufficient for the precision required for survival. This apparent lack of fixed points created an urgent need for a deeper, more immediate form of understanding the environment, setting the stage for an extraordinary human adaptation. For ancient desert dwellers, the sand itself was not merely an obstacle, but a living, breathing map, constantly updating with every gust of wind. They developed a revolutionary concept, reading the intricate patterns etched into the desert floor. This wasn't guesswork. It was a sophisticated form of environmental interpretation, meticulously observed and passed down through generations. They saw not emptiness, but a dynamic, readable surface, where every ripple held a clue, every dune a direction, transforming an inhospitable wasteland into a traversable realm. Our journey often leads us to groups like the Tuareg of the Sahara or the Bedouin of Arabia. These legendary cultures, hardened by generations spent mastering the desert, developed an unparalleled expertise in navigating its perils. Their very survival hinged on an intimate, almost spiritual connection to their environment. They were the original geomorphologists, long before the term existed, understanding the nuances of aeolian processes with a depth that modern science would only begin to unravel centuries later. Their wisdom became their most vital tool. To understand their navigation, we must first understand the desert's architect, the wind. As air currents sweep across the landscape, they pick up and deposit sand grains in specific, predictable ways. Ripple marks, the small, wave-like formations, are primarily formed by a process called saltation, where sand grains bounce and skip across the surface. These aren't random patterns. They're direct, visible indicators of the wind's direction, speed, and recent activity, a dynamic interplay between air and earth, constantly writing and rewriting its messages. The ancient navigators learned to read these ripples like a compass. Elongated, consistent ripples indicated strong, steady winds, while shorter, more irregular patterns suggested changing or weaker gusts. Crucially, the orientation of the ripple crests pointed directly to the prevailing wind direction, and their asymmetry could reveal the most recent, dominant flow. This wasn't merely observing the wind. It was interpreting its history and predicting its future, turning the seemingly chaotic desert floor into a precise, quantifiable language that offered life-saving guidance. Beyond the delicate ripples, the massive dunes themselves offered crucial, broader navigational information. Different dune types convey different stories. Crescent-shaped Barkhan dunes, for instance, always have their horns pointing downwind, indicating the direction of sand movement. Linear Seif dunes, long and often towering, align precisely with the dominant wind direction. Understanding their formation, migration, growth, and interaction was akin to reading a vast, constantly redrawing topographical map, providing larger-scale orientation across immense distances. But this ancient navigation was not solely visual. It was a holistic, sensory experience. The texture of the sand underfoot conveyed crucial information about its moisture content or recent disturbance. The subtle, low hum of the singing sands, Aeolian tones created by moving sand, could indicate active sand migration or specific moisture levels. Even the feel of the wind on the skin, its consistency and subtle shifts, were all meticulously integrated into this intricate, intuitive sensory map, forming an inseparable bond with the environment. This profound, dynamic knowledge was rarely written down. Instead, it was woven into the fabric of daily life, into stories, songs, and practical experiences. Elders taught the young, not through textbooks, but through shared journeys and active, hands-on interpretation. Every expedition into the desert was a lesson, every stop an opportunity to observe, absorb, and practice. It was a living, breathing tradition, passed down through generations, ensuring the continuity of these life-sustaining skills without a single written map or manual. Armed with this extraordinary knowledge, ancient navigators could achieve feats that seem impossible today. They connected distant oases, located hidden wells, and followed ancestral caravan routes that crisscrossed thousands of miles of seemingly trackless desert. By predicting weather patterns from subtle sand changes, they could avoid perilous quicksand or devastating sandstorms. These master guides were the essential lifeline, linking disparate communities across otherwise impassable seas of sand, making trade, communication, and survival possible where no modern map could suffice. Today, this ancient wisdom faces the threat of obsolescence. Modern technology, with GPS and powerful vehicles, reduces the immediate reliance on these traditional skills. Yet, the scientific field of Aeolian geomorphology continues to reveal the complexity and validity of these ancient observations, validating knowledge passed down over millennia. This profound human connection to nature reminds us of a time when survival demanded an intimate, constant dialogue with the earth, a legacy of ingenuity etched, however ephemerally, in the sands of time. The desert's rhythmic whispers, once the lifeline of entire civilizations, speak of an extraordinary human capacity to adapt, observe, and connect with their environment on a level we rarely comprehend today. These ancient navigators, with their sand-reading wisdom, weren't just charting courses. They were decoding the very language of the earth. Their legacy urges us to remember that beneath the surface of the seemingly chaotic, there often lies an intricate, readable order, a testament to the profound knowledge that can emerge when humanity truly listens to the world around it.